Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the library. This half an hour session is going to be an introduction to resources with a focus on volunteer faculty. We know that you guys play a very significant and very specialized role within our institution, and we are so happy to be able to provide to you the wealth of resources that the PCOM library has to offer. My name is Erica Rosal, and I am the User Services Coordinator for the PCOM Library, and I'm based on the Georgia campus. Along with my colleague, Katrisa Gardner, who is based in South Georgia, we're going to take a look at the library webpage. We're going to go through some of the clinical resources, and hopefully by the end of this half an hour, you'll have a good idea of where to go to get some of the things that you might want to use or how to take advantage of some of the services we offer. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here with the library homepage. This is what I like to call the portal to everything good and wonderful in the world of the library. If you're looking for anything, this is the place to start to find it. Also, if we ever have to do any troubleshooting for you, the first thing or one of the first things that we're going to ask you is, did you start at the library homepage when you were trying to find one of our resources? So it's a good idea to just have this page bookmarked in your browser of choice, and that way you'll have our resources right at your fingertips. This page is a responsive page, which means that whether you're looking at it on your tablet or your smartphone or here on a desktop computer like I am, it's going to look more or less the same, and it's not going to do any crazy things like scrolling to the left, scrolling to the right. I know you guys have seen these awfully designed pages. Proud to say ours is not one of them. Ours is a wonderfully designed page, and everything that you need is right here up front. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about the anatomy of the library website. We're going to go through some of the menus, and where we're going to start is right here, front and center, with what I call the Omni search box. This box has 6 tabs along the top, and it allows you to search different aspects of either the library website or selected resources outside our website. I'm going to start here with the OneSearch tab. As you may have been able to divine from the name, OneSearch is just that. It's a discovery tool that will help you to find articles, books, from inside PCOM, as far as what we provide access to. This is great, particularly when you're trying to find articles. As a matter of fact, I helped a faculty member yesterday, and I will show you that search by way of how to use OneSearch. So we'll go ahead and paste this title here. This was the title of one of the articles that the faculty member was asking me for. Aside from it being really, really interesting, something that I was able to find out was that we do have this article full text. If you don't know whether we have access to something and you're maybe just looking for an article or a book, this is the best first place to start. You are able to limit your search or do an advanced search if you are so inclined. And in this drop down, you can search in different ways: keyword, title, and author. It's your pretty standard search. So I'm going to go ahead and click the search button. We'll bounce over to the results page, and I'll talk a little bit about what we find. This is going to be the process for every single resource that you use, asterisk. And I will get to that in about 5 minutes when we talk about personal accounts through our resources. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself logged in here. So the next thing we're going to see is the result provided to us through one of our vendors. And you can see here, luckily, this doesn't always happen, but it happens a lot of the time. We have the article right here waiting for us to download. Because we do have a subscription to this journal, you have access here to full text, and should you so desire, you can also download the PDF. So at a bare minimum, you can search for articles, you can search for books, and the links are provided to you right there. Easiest thing in the world. Choice of some other tabs along the top of the screen, and I'll go through those really quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time with them because we only have a half an hour together. Books will allow you to search our catalog. So the library has, in addition to all of the journals that we subscribe to, we have an incredible, and I do mean incredible, number of electronic texts. You don't have to come to the library to get anything from us. All of this is available at your practice site, at the Starbucks, if you're doing such a thing right now, at home, in bed, whatever. You can search for these from anywhere. I'm going to search for one of my favorite books. And of course, since you're going to be off campus, you're going to want to limit to ebook if you have to happen to be searching for a particular title. You don't have to search for a particular title. If you just want to know what books we have on neoplasms or anatomy, like I searched for in this case, we have this filter ebook, which allows you to limit your search by what we have as an electronic resource. All of these denotations right here, you can see electronic resource. All of these are available as ebooks through our various collections. Clicking on that link will take you to the login page, or if you've already logged in within like the past half an hour or so, I don't know how long the cookie lasts, but if you've logged in the last little bit, it'll just pass you right on through to the resource. Go ahead and show you that. It's passing me through to Health Library, and then we have the full text of Grant's Atlas of Anatomy here. So there we go. And seriously, you guys, we've got a lot of books. We are so proud of our collection because it's been this collection that has helped our students both during, their didactic years, especially during the past year, right, of the pandemic, when people haven't really been able to come to us, and our clinical students who are already out and aren't able to come to us, faculty who haven't been able to come to campus, and you guys too. Please take advantage of these resources. We're happy and we're proud and we're pleased to offer them to you. So the next tab we're going to discuss here real quick is e-journals. This will allow you to search for a specific journal, like it says, by title, ISSN, or subject. If you were looking for, say, the New England Journal of Medicine, go ahead and type that here. This will pass you through to another great resource that we offer, which is called Browsing. Not only does Browsing offer a portal to whatever journals we have, But if you set up your own account, you can save journals and articles to bookshelves. You can track when journals come out with new articles. You can save searches so that browsing will notify you when a topic that you're interested in has had a new article published. This is a great way to stay up to date on your field. If you've used something before like Read by QXMD, this is comparable to that, and it has the bonus of being linked to our journal collection. So it's really convenient, easy to use. I'll go ahead and click on through here to the New England Journal of Medicine. This is what our journals will look like when we have full text. We have this, I want to say back to 1995, perhaps before. But if you are looking for full text, you can just click on the little PDF icon and you can download the PDF. And of course, you have other options here, such as saving, exporting citations, and linking to the article if you wanted to share it with somebody. So these next two tabs, I'm not going to go into too much in depth. Google Scholar, which I'm sure you all know, allows you to search Google Scholar. You can post your search terms, paste your article, and it'll take you right through to that. If you've never heard of or used PubMed, let me tell you, you're missing out, because this is one of the greatest free biomedical databases out there. And the nice thing about PubMed and us is that when you're looking for an article in PubMed, we have a product that will show you whether we have access to the article. So we've developed a lot of different ways to get you to what you're looking for quickly. I apologize, I'm going very, very fast, but I want to get as much stuff in as I can. And yes, I will be answering questions. I will hang out afterwards if anybody has questions about anything I've said or anybody wants to go more in depth. So this part of the page is what I call other stuff, because it's pretty obvious what's there. We have our quick links here, which give a secondary way of finding your way to different resources and subject guides that we have. I will be talking in a little bit about databases, clinical tools, Katrisa will be covering in greater detail, and ebooks. We also have subject guides that are organized by program or by specialty. Down here, if you want to keep track of the new resources that we offer, you can find those down here. And general resources, which I think are also an amazing benefit. We provide access to the New York Times, which I love to tell people. I'm not much of a Wall Street Journal fan myself, but if that's your bag, go for it. We provide access to that as well. If you're trying to learn maybe medical Spanish, or you're trying to learn another language for that trip to France that maybe you'll be able to take within the next 6 months or so, you can use Mango Languages in order to learn that. I am going to now bounce up top to the menu. So for this part, I am not going to go through all of this because there's a lot up at this top menu, but I do want to highlight some collections and links that we think would be most useful to you during your practice, while you're, learning yourself, while you're teaching our students. So we're going to start up here at the collections menu, and the highlights here First one is databases. Go ahead and click on that there. If you want to search for what we have, this is where you would do it. We have something like 212, I think was the number that I saw, databases. Now, that's deceptive because even though we only have 212, this is like the Russian nesting doll of resources, right? You can go into something like Access Medicine, and not only do you have all of the books that we have and subscribe to through Access Medicine, but that platform also provides additional tools that can help you in your practice. Something that I think is a really neat thing as part of Access Medicine and as part of Clinical Key is patient information handouts, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. If you were interested in what we have, you can search this, or you can just kind of click on that right there. And say you were interested in seeing whether we had Dynamed, which is one of our great point of care tools. You can just kind of scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and there it is with a link to the resource. So that is databases, or what we call our A to Z databases. The next link I'm going to talk about briefly is ebooks. This is a link to our subject guide of some of the most popular ebooks that we have. Some of them we also have in hard copy. Some of them also provide PDF downloads, but for all of these subjects that we have broken out here, you'll see anywhere between 5 and 10 books, in the heading. And if you were to need anything else, or you wanted to see if we had something else, you can click on the Visit Library Catalog link. That will bounce you over to the library catalog. And then at that point, you can do your search just like you would at any other time. The next link is eJournals. I already showed you Browsine, but so I'm not going to go through that. That's basically where the eJournals link leads to. But like I said, we try to provide a number of different pathways so you don't get too lost in the sauce, because like I said, there's a lot on here. So if you wanted to make your way to eJournals, you click on that and you would go to Browsine, and then you can perform your search. We talked about the PCOM catalog, so you guys are totally awesome on that. Videos is a great page because not only does this particular page have audio collections, which is like heart sounds and such, image collections, which are provided by some of our various vendors, and you can find in some of our databases, kind of that Russian nesting doll thing. But we have procedural videos. These are great if you're trying to maybe teach your students a topic and you think it might be better taught in video. We have all of these videos, from Access Medicine to BMJ Best Practice. The Clinical Key videos are absolutely great. So you can maybe assign these to your students. You can, watch them on your own if there's something that you need to, refresh your memory on. So these are useful for, both students and faculty. So, I highly recommend that you take advantage of those. We are going to bounce over now here to the Clinical Tools Guide. I'm just going to give you a very brief overview because Katrisa will be on this as soon as I stop rambling, but this is going to be your portal to the clinical tools that we have. I also want to bring your attention to virtual access. And I'm going to spend a minute here on this page. Because you guys are all coming at us from a distance, you're remote, you're spread out, Philadelphia, Georgia, Florida, all over the place, it's going to be really important for y'all to know how to get to our resources, because that's step one. You can't get there, you can't log in, it means nothing. So this page is going to take you through how you log in, how you get to articles, how, like I mentioned earlier, if you're on PubMed or one of our other vendor sites, how you can get to the full text of articles. I am going to go now to the mobile apps section for a lot of our resources. We also have apps that will work on your phone. These are great. Again, just like our website, they work from anywhere. Obviously, you can use either the website or the mobile app if one is provided, but we have all of our apps listed here, and those are available to use for use to you. You know, if you can use the resource, you can use the app. So we'll go ahead and bounce back up here. And the last thing I am going to talk about before I hand it over to Katrisa is services. Because if there's one thing that we do very well, it is be people. We love to talk to our users. We love to help our users. We have people who are designated to help you guys. We have a liaison program, which has been in effect now for, I want to say 6 years. And as it's gone on, it's only gotten better. Our liaisons are some of the most talented librarians I know, and some of the most willing to help with clinical questions that you might have. If you have a literature search that you need done, a faculty person emailed me yesterday for articles. If you need a class taught or you need a one-on-one session, these are things that we are able to do for you. So each program has a liaison. So if you are aligned, if you are a volunteer faculty with, for instance, the osteopathic medicine program, these would be your people that you can contact because they are more geared towards helping you in that field. Same thing for pharmacy. If we have any pharmacy volunteer faculty here, we have a liaison for you too. And of course, if nothing else, you can always contact the library for assistance. I mentioned that we do provide instruction, both one-on-one and one-to-many. We have done consultations on our different resources. We have done classes on PubMed. So if you feel like you're a little light on some of your library using skills and you need to have somebody kind of sit down with you and go way more in depth, we are more than happy to do that. Zoom has made everything easier in my mind because we don't have to do it necessarily face to face. We can just pop on that camera and go to school. So please don't hesitate to use this form right here. Tell us what you need and we will set something up with you. One of your liaisons would be happy to dive in to the things that we have. Okay, so that was really, really quick and I took up a lot of time. So at this point, I am going to hand it over to Katrisa, who is going to talk more about the clinical tools.
Hello everyone. My name is Katrisa Gardner. I am the Public Services Librarian located in South Georgia at the Moultrie campus. Thank you, Erica, for that dynamic overview of our website and resources. Very briefly, I want to show you some of the clinical tools that you have access to. Back on the library's homepage under Quick Links, I'm going to access clinical tools from there. And this is the page where I'm going to highlight maybe two, if I have time, of our resources that are really dynamic for you to use. The first one here is Clinical Key. And when you access these resources, you will sign in with your single sign-on with your PCUM credentials. And with our resources, I definitely want to encourage you to create accounts. That way you will take advantage of all the details within the resource that you have access to, like saving searches, sharing information. So Clinical Key is just more of like it searches across textbooks, journals, medical and surgical videos. There are customizable patient handouts, images that allows you to make informed decisions built on deep evidence. So here you have a search box where you can search for conditions, procedures, drugs, and other things. You can browse by these particular options here, and also you have access to clinical calculators. So I really don't have time to get into how to do the searches, but please, we'll more than happy to show you how to use these. It's kind of very easy to use. So it gives you more information when you search on the conditions. You're able to see treatment plans, practice guidelines, and more information about the condition, procedure, or drug. So that is very briefly Clinical Key. The next resource that I'll show you is Dynomed. And it's open here. So very briefly, this is a clinician-focused tool that facilitates efficient and evidence-based patient care. Here you can search by specialty. Okay, so whatever specialty you're interested in learning more about or getting information from, you can search by specialty. Uh, you can search by particular drug. There's an A to Z index here. And also, there's a feature, the drug interaction. So if you're looking to see if there's an interaction or potential interaction between one or more drugs, you can do that here. You can add a third drug and then check for interactions. Also, there's a feature called differential diagnosis. Here, it allows you to do a clinical workup of a patient that comes in, and maybe you want to say, you can go in here and select adult 30, 39, and there's the gender, travel information, clinical features, whatever their clinical features are. Real quickly, chest pain, and add that there, and you'll get a workup. So it tells you here a checklist of what to look for. So pretty much very briefly, that is Zynomab. Okay, and one of the last ones that I want to show you, the one that I really, really love a lot, is Visual DX. All right, similar to Dynamed, you can also build a quick start differential builder by selecting one of the categories here, or you can enter a symptom, medication, or diagnoses, and it will provide you with intuitive results and potential diagnostic possibilities. So also within this, you can look up drug reactions as well. There are images that you can view. And with all three of these and the resources that we want to definitely advise you, as Erica showed you, the mobile access, get the mobile app. You can use these tools on the go, right there in the room at the point of care with your patients. And this particular one offers the CME certification, and I believe that Clinical Key does as well. So that was my brief spiel over the top 3 recommendations under the clinical tools. We are at the top of the hour, 12:30. So I'm going to toss it back to Erica. Thank you, everyone. Please feel free to ask any questions and we'll be able to help you with. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katrisa. Okay, so before I roll real quick into the question and answer portion, I know we're right at 12:30, but the last thing I want to emphasize is how you get help, because we all need a little bit of help. Our contact information is here at the end under About, Contact Us. If you're looking for a specific person, of course, there's the liaisons page, which we looked at earlier. And then there is the staff directory, and you can limit by campus, or you can just kind of look down the page and see all our wonderful, cheerful, smiling faces. So with that, I will stop sharing again. And we have some questions here that I want to go ahead and answer. The first one is, how do we get a username and password for the PCOM library? Great question. You have to go through the faculty appointment process in order to have a username and password assigned to you. So if you want to get access to all of these amazing resources, go through that appointment process. And then once you go through it, you are sent a username and password, and then you are off to the races. So that's how you would do that. Somebody else asked if we have access to natural medicines database or up to date. I will admit that I was trying to avoid saying this, but volunteer faculty, while you don't have access to up to date, we've got a great slate of other point of care tools that are available. Katrisa showed you Dynamed, which I think is probably the number one if you're trying to do a comparison between Dynamed and UpToDate. Dynamed is going to be where you're going to go. Along with that, you can pair it with Isabel for point of care, and if you're doing dermatology particularly, or pathologies that present on the skin, Visual DX is a wonderful tool for that as well. I hope that answered your question. How do we get our username and password once requesting searches? I think that might have been the same question from earlier, where you have to have faculty appointment. And then once you have that faculty appointment, you get a username and password. We have the default username and password, by the way. If you change it, we can help you with the username. We can no longer help you with the password, but our ITS department, who manages that, they're amazing. If you call them or email them, they will reset your password and do whatever they need to do to regain you access to log in to the library resources. Let's see, we have a question about assigning an article and whether it's preferable to download it. You know what? That is actually not a question I can answer because I am not didactic strong. Barbara or Katrisa, can you answer that question?
I think it's just a preference. I've seen faculty actually have a link provided to the article that they want the students to access. So you may provide the link to the article, or also download the. We prefer you to do it that way. If you download the link, it will take you directly into to our library website so that you can authenticate and confirm, and you'll be at the right spot. You won't have a dead link. So definitely the link will be preferable.
Does anybody else, since we have taken up a little bit more of your time than we said we would, does anybody else have any other questions? Does anybody want us to go more in depth with anything? We are here. We are happy to help. I hope, if nothing else, we have got across the idea that we are here and we are happy to help you guys take good advantage of the multitude of resources that we have to offer you.